Okay. What is going on? LBHT Crew B. What is going on?
Not a whole lot going on. Coming off a bye for Carolina, we were trying to get back on track.
An unofficial bye.
It was pretty official by the end of it. Hopefully Bryce is back and they can just get back into the groove, keep that 3-win streak going.
Yeah, however you want to cope with that, man. However you want to cope with that. Listen, it was an unofficial bye. They took that. They said, "Hey, Andy Dalton wasn't trying. We're not going to try." Okay, they saving themselves for when Bryce comes back, and hopefully, it looks like all signs are pointing towards him playing this weekend. And that's a tough matchup, but we'll discuss. We'll discuss how you can win that game. Okay. Listen, y'all. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well, but if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So wherever you're watching this, make sure you hit that like button, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you're listening to the audio form of this, we put this out on Thursday at lunchtime. So we hope you're enjoying your lunch break. Make sure you leave us a 5-star review because we're trying to grow over on that side of things. Okay. Who do we have in the chat? Our guy Bazel says first. Yes, my friend. You were first. Good to see you in here, man. Appreciate you coming through. Osmond's in the house. What's going on, Osmond? Says, hello, everyone. Hope all is well. Salute to you, Osmond. Just Aloe's in the house. Says, hello, LBHT friends. I hope everyone is having a great evening. What is a glizzy and how does one tort? A glizzy is a hot dog.
Mm-hmm.
And
you don't.
Yes. Marlo was talking about trying a hot dog in every state. I don't think every state is known for their hot dogs, but that's what was on his mind while they were, getting the doors blown off of them in these games. Mm-hmm. But whatever, it is what it is. Okay. Pay the bill says, yes, sir. Hey, thanks for coming through. Pay the bills. We got Urban in the house. What up? We got be the change you wish to see. Salute.
What's going on?
What's up, Chris? What's going on? Thanks for coming through. Man, we had a great time on the Ravens Roundup yesterday. Make sure you guys go check that out on Coach's channel, Sip to Tally Films, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Myself, Sutton from Purple Rain Podcast, Chris and Carrie from Deep Cover Podcast, and of course, Coach Evans on Sip to Tally Films. Alaska Man's in the house. What's going on? Thanks for coming through.
Alaska.
He said, "Stop ducking the NBA talk, B."
Listen, NBA hadn't even started yet. LeBron ain't been out there.
We actually are going to talk NBA. We're going to talk about it. We're going to be talking some NBA in the overtime show. This gambling scandal, and this could be there could be ripple effects throughout all sports. Yeah. I think there will be. We'll talk about that in the overtime show. There's a lot to unpack with that one. Who else is in here? Danity. What's going on, Danity? Appreciate you coming through. Says, welcome to the chat, everyone. Big show today. Hit the like and subscribe button, kings and queens. Super chat is available. And the Cash App, $sign LBHT Show. Hashtag road to 3K. Yes, salute. Listen to Danity, everyone. I started a goal. YouTube has these goals you can do. And I do it for fun. I put little funny things in there. This week, you're always donating to a foundation when you do a super chat. Okay. This week's foundation is make locker rooms great again. Okay. Because Lamar Jackson is stealing their joy from the locker room. Okay. He's the culprit, not John Harbaugh. Okay. Mm-hmm. He did it. He took the joy from the locker room. Okay. Make locker rooms great again. All right. Everything is Lamar's fault. Everything. What's going on, Yolanda?
What's up, Yolanda?
Thanks for coming through. Ravens Talk with Yolanda, another dope Ravens content creator that you need to be subscribed to. Who else we got in here? Kwame's in the house. What's up, Kwame? He was over there trolling me yesterday about Tyler Huntley. Yeah. Hey, listen, take the victory lap. Look, he played. I have nothing bad to say about Tyler Huntley right now. He played a great game for him. He played a great game for him. Okay.
Exactly.
And we got the win. So it's all good. Appreciate you coming through. Tracy is here. What's up, Tracy? Now we can start the show. Okay, I was filibustering that. Now Tracy's here. We can start. D Weezy in the house. What's good? Thanks for coming through.
What up, Derek?
Yeah. And I think now we can.
Well,
start.
you talked about who's here. We also need to talk about who's not here. If things seem a little off, things seem a little slower, our superstar producer Adelia is not here this week. She's on vacation. So we want to wish Adelia a safe trip, a happy trip, and can't wait to have you back because I don't like clicking these buttons, man.
No, we don't. We don't. we got spoiled. Ferris is here though. What's going on?
What up, Ferris?
Ferris says Lamar is right. Team Lamar. Okay. All right. Just like you like crashing the party, you like killing the fun over there. All right.
Ferris, the most emotional person I've ever
met. Make locker rooms great again. Nasty work. Ferris says Adelia says hi. Yes, Ferris is with Adelia. Ferris, in fact, owes Adelia, some lunch, right, or dinner.
Ferris, despite his proclamations otherwise, is a degenerate gambler, and he lost his bet to Adelia. So enjoy the lunch, Ferris.
Yes.
Well, not you. Enjoy Adelia.
Yes. Enjoy Adelia. All right. Look, we got a game tomorrow. Listen, for the Ravens at this point, every game is a big game. Let's just be real about it. But every win keeps us in contention to win the division. As poorly as we started, we can, in some places, favor us to win the division.
Well, and I'll tell you why. It's not because John Harbaugh's a great coach. It's not because EDC put together a great roster. It's not even because Lamar Jackson is the best football player on the planet. It's because the Steelers are and always have been frauds.
Yes. Well, I mean, that always have been. They got 6 rings, but
always have. We don't count the stuff in the seconds. And I don't think that Ben counts anything before he was, born again. So, how many rings do they really have?
All right. Look, we got a lot to cover. We're going to get the show started. But first, we like to start every show with a Black History fact. And B and Nicole have a Black History fact for you.
This week on the LBHT Black History Fact, Jaime Hurtado was a trailblazing Afro-Ecuadorian leader whose life was defined by his relentless pursuit of justice and equality. Born in 1937 in the impoverished region of Quininde, Esmeraldas, Hurtado grew up in the remote parish of Malimpia, where he experienced firsthand the neglect and marginalization that shaped his political convictions. He later attended the University of Guayaquil, where he became deeply involved in activism, organizing around workers' rights and racial justice. Hurtado emerged as a powerful voice in Ecuadorian politics through his work with the Democratic People's Movement, MPD, and the Marxist-Leninist Communist Party of Ecuador. He served multiple terms in the National Congress, where he was known for his uncompromising stance against neoliberal policies and his advocacy for the rights of Afro-Ecuadorians, indigenous communities, and the working class. At the time of his assassination in 1999, he was running for president, making history as the first Afro-Ecuadorian candidate to seek the nation's highest office. On February 17, 1999, Hurtado was murdered in broad daylight near the National Congress building, along with 2 colleagues. The killing shocked the country and ignited protests, especially among marginalized groups who saw Hurtado as a champion of their struggles. Though he had reportedly uncovered high-level corruption, no one was ever held accountable for his death. Jaime Hurtado's legacy endures as a symbol of resistance and representation. He broke racial and class barriers in Ecuadorian politics and inspired generations to continue the fight for equity and inclusion. His life and tragic death remain a rallying point for those committed to social justice across Latin America.
Salute to the Black History Fact.
I just want to say, Spirit of Justice, he says, narrated by Morgan Freeman, will not have this Okole erasure. All right. Nor would we have Morgan Freeman on the show. Okay. Don't like that on either end.
Yeah, his name is Okole. Not to be confused. Please do not confuse him with Morgan Freeman.
He hates that.
Yes, he hates that, and YouTube hates that.
That's why sometimes you hear his voice getting a little erratic. It's because of comments like that, Spirit. It gets under his skin.
And listen, look, you got a black man with a Latin name, okay? So don't be surprised when you see Jose Garcia, a black man, on your screen. All right, I'm not the only one.
All right, Mr. Garcia, let's keep it moving. You can't fool me.
All right, big game tomorrow. Okay.
I mean, I think this is actually, if you look at the records, it's probably one of the worst Thursday night games of the season. So,
yes, but it doesn't feel like feel like it, right? Like record wise, yes, but you look at the team.
Only in Baltimore. Only in Baltimore does it feel like a big game.
No,
probably Pittsburgh as well.
No. People want to see Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson's coming back. People, yeah. So this is going to be one that people are going to want to watch for sure. And listen, the Dolphins are coming off a big win, even though like they played Atlanta without they played without Michael Penix. It's a different team.
Try and downplay it. Y'all are out here celebrating a win over Chicago. Don't try to downplay.
They had a quarterback
victories. All right.
Okay. How about you let me finish?
Quarterback playing.
How about you let me finish? How about you let me finish? How about you let me finish?
How about that?
No, but I'm saying yes. But what I'm trying to say is, even though they beat Atlanta without the quarterback, right? They're still a dangerous team. They have all kinds of weapons on offense.
Yeah, you wouldn't know it by the way they used Bijan last week. Shout out to you, Raheem Morris. Get it together.
Not Atlanta. I'm talking about Miami.
I'm talking about Atlanta though, because I almost lost because of Bijan Robinson. Well,
fancy football's on the mind. No, Miami has a lot of weapons, and yes, Tua is prone to turnovers, but if he's on, there's a lot of guys that can hurt us on that side of the ball, even without Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, I believe he had 4 touchdowns, no picks last week against Atlanta. That young, hungry Falcon defense that we had heard so much about, and how they had turned the corner and they were so dangerous. It didn't really look like that.
Yeah, I will say this though: not having Tyreek Hill helps us a whole lot. Okay. I would much rather play this team without Tyreek Hill than with Tyreek Hill. Okay.
Yeah.
So
now, lucky for you, Darren Waller is still out, so you won't have to deal with him.
Shocker.
It's unfortunate. Okay. Wow. You know what? I had a conversation with Rogue Pod, Hendo from Rogue Pod, about this, about how Ravens fans just crap on their own constantly. All right, y'all hate your own team more than any fan base I have ever seen.
Don't listen to this fraud right here. This man throws all kinds of shots at Darren Waller off screen.
No, I don't, man. Darren Waller, I picked up Darren Waller the second I heard he was back. Okay, he was tearing it up out there, scoring touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. And now he landed on IR.
And then as soon as he got hurt, B was like, I knew I shouldn't have picked up this bum.
I said no such thing.
That's why he's
I said no such thing. But no, you're gonna so you don't have to deal with him. But Devin Achane is there. Ollie Gordon, he doesn't have big numbers, but he's been a strong runner for them. And we know that Baltimore has been kind of soft in the middle at points this season. So that's going to be a challenge for them. Obviously, Jalen Waddle. But listen, if y'all are who you say you are, Marlon Humphrey and Nate Wiggins and all of the rest of you, you should be able to handle Jalen Waddle, especially with Tua throwing the ball to him.
Yeah, we'll see. Every week is just going to be like they have to lock in. We're not overlooking anybody at this point. Go, man. What's going on? Here he goes. Says keep that same energy. Ha 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 ha. You've been
man. I'm glad you got the clown avatar. All right, because listen, y'all are still weeks away from being over 500. You got to stop. All right.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Listen. Yes, we need all these games. You're right. We need all of these games. I'm trying to show some optimism here. Now, listen. That game against the Bears, can't stress enough how bad we needed that game. We lose that game. Can't say it's over because how bad the division.
But it's very close.
It's very close to being over, and it's not just because like mathematically you're getting close to being eliminated. It's because your team is showing you really can't be anything without Lamar.
Yeah.
Right? Like you have to at some point show that yes, we can stand on our own too. Yes, we have some fire in us. Yes, we have some other talent on this team, and we can get wins like this, especially at home when the other team is hurt. If they can't even do that, then it's you almost confirmed it the first 2 weeks without him, that you're nothing without Lamar. Yeah. So you needed to have this game. They played well all around. They played well all around. So that was really good to see. You have to carry it into the next game. Lamar comes back. You have to keep playing that way against the Dolphins. All right. And now, listen, and if it looks good, if you look good tomorrow, we got a favorable schedule coming up.
Officially back, baby. They have to keep on using Keaton Mitchell along with Derrick Henry. Obviously, you need Lamar to play like Lamar, and you need that O-line to step up and just be the. I'm gonna try and put this diplomatically. Be the best version of themselves. All right. They're not great, but just strive to achieve greatness. And maybe if you fall at mediocre, then you'll be all right. But more than anything else, because I think we all believe the offense will be fine with Lamar back. The defense has to continue to play. They can't get complacent now that Lamar's back and just say, oh, well, they're going to score, so Lamar will win the game. Doesn't matter what we do, which is kind of how they looked at the beginning of the season. They have to be out there trying to make plays every single down. They've got to be out there trying to turn the ball over. They got to try to get after Tua, and they got to make sure that they keep Miami out of the end zone. I mean, it's not that difficult,
Right. Yeah, listen, the O-line is going to look better. We said before, it's going to look better because Pat Ricard is back. A fullback shouldn't matter this much. What's up, Hendo?
You lost that link, Hendo?
You sent Hendo a link?
Well, I told him that he has the link, and if he didn't have it, to just let me know, and I'd send it to him. I didn't get any messages, but I also don't see him, so I don't know.
Well, look, he's always welcome on the show. He knows that. But fullback shouldn't matter as much as Pat Ricard does, but he does.
Yeah.
And that's due to the fact that we did a terrible job putting together O-line. But with Pat Ricard back, like I said before, it is going to make the blocking overall better. Right. And I think he showed that on Sunday. So even if these guys don't get better, which I don't know how much more Falele and Voorhees are going to improve during the season. I hope they do. You can't have faith in that. But even if they don't improve, as long as Pat Ricard is healthy, he's going to help clean up some of that stuff. And a marginally better O-line will take us a long way. And like you said before, Keaton Mitchell, I don't see how he could be inactive again after last week's game. Only 4 carries, had 43 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Jimmy Horn situation in Carolina, sort of, because Jimmy Horn had never played before. But once he got out there and he made a couple of key plays, they're like, all right, well, you're the guy now in that spot. I don't know what John Harbaugh and Tom Monken were doing, having Keaton Mitchell inactive. They've already seen what he can do. A couple of years ago, he was very effective. So having him be inactive for the first however many games it was is coaching malpractice, you know. But again, this is what happens in Baltimore until Harbaugh's back is firmly against the wall, and then he's like, "All right, I'm gonna start trying this week." He'll put in them 4-5 hour days until he starts getting calls from Stevie B, and then he's full 8 hours. Maybe he might put in a little bit of overtime, right? To make sure that he gets to keep that job another year. Yeah. So I do expect that we'll see Keaton active. I expect that we'll see him involved in the offense, and it's only going to lead to good things for Baltimore.
Pay the bill says, "Can I get a likely sighting tomorrow?" I think you will.
I mean, have you not seen enough? Top two, not two, right?
Listen, Lamar's going to make him look like it. You know, you will. I think, especially. Throwing down the field, I think. What's up, Coach? I think throwing down the field likely is more of Lamar's target than Andrews, right? So you'll see some shots to likely more when Lamar gets back. We had to be very calculated with our passes with our backups in. Okay, so
yeah, sure. But they do need to get Isaiah Likely going. He is one of their better playmakers on offense, and they're gonna in the regular season they'll be fine. You know, as long as Lamar is healthy and they keep him upright, and the defense is even playing, you know, to say 70% of their potential, they'll be fine. They'll win most of the rest of their games. But in the playoffs, they need guys like Isaiah Likely, guys like Zay Flowers, Keaton Mitchell. They need those other guys to make plays for them. And you want to get that going in the regular season. So it's not like, hey, I know you haven't done anything all year with your 13 catches, but we need you to step up and have an 80-yard, 2-touchdown game.
Right.
So,
right. Do you have any next gen stats? I'm not sure.
We do for Baltimore, Miami. There weren't any for Carolina. League is scared. I told you that weeks ago. Once Carolina started winning, they try to act like we don't exist. But there's two for Baltimore, Miami. First one, Jalen Waddle is set to take on the Ravens' man-heavy scheme on Thursday night. The Ravens have used man coverage on 39.6% of dropbacks this season, the sixth highest rate in the NFL, and a continuation from their 33% rate last season, which was ninth highest. Under now second-year defensive coordinator Zach Orr, Waddle has a 32.4% target share against man coverage this season, which is 13.5% higher than any other Dolphins receiver and the eighth highest mark in the league. So Jalen Waddle gets open versus man, and Tua is keenly aware of this fact, and he gets him the ball routinely against man coverage. So. You know, again, that's just going to fall on those corners stepping up, and honestly, you just got a ball. That's all it comes down to. For the Ravens, this one is Derrick Henry. He faces a Dolphins defense that has been vulnerable between the tackles this season, to say the least. Henry has handled 45 carries over the Ravens' last two games, producing 193 yards and 2 touchdowns, as Baltimore has made a clear effort to establish the run. He now draws a Thursday night matchup against a Miami defense that has allowed the 5th most fantasy points per game to running backs. The Dolphins have struggled particularly against runs between the tackles, giving up the second highest rushing success rate, 54.5%, and the 3rd most yards per carry at 5.1 on those rushes this season. So if you, as a play caller, simply call runs between the tackles, you will never see a 3rd down against the Miami Dolphins defense, right? Unless they drastically change something, right? So again, it's one of those situations where I think we make football more complicated than it is, and than it needs to be, because you script your first 15 plays, and they're going to come out and they're going to throw at some point in that script. Why? Hand the ball to Derrick Henry and Keaton Mitchell and Justice Hill and run between the tackles until they show you that they can stop you from doing so.
You know what was really frustrating with watching the Patriots win all those rings? You watch their games. Only the year where they had Randy Moss, where they're really blowing teams out. They're
and they did win the Super Bowl,
and they didn't win the Super Bowl. But like the other years, you watch the games, like, dang man, like they're not even doing anything. Like why aren't you stopping them? But it was simple because Belichick would say, "Listen, if we find something that's working, we're not changing it until you stop it."
Yeah.
Right? If you can't stop the outside zone, then we'll run outside zone, right? And if you stop it to the left, then we'll run it to the right. If you stop it to the right, then we'll go to this. We'll do something else. But we're not stopping until you stop it. If you show that you can't stop it, then it's going to be a long, painful day for you.
Yeah,
it's simple. That's what we need to do. Like, there's no reason if we're running the ball up the middle. When we get to the goal line, to not run the ball up the middle, right?
Yeah.
Don't do the tush push. Don't do it end around. Don't get cute. Just run the ball. See if they can stop it.
That's how Deion Branch set the record for most receptions in the Super Bowl. He said, if you're not going to cover Deion Branch, I guess we're going to throw to Deion Branch. and he just did it all day long. All day long. And it was infuriating watching that game. But yeah. This one I think is going to be, honestly, I think they're just going to demolish the Miami Dolphins tomorrow night. I believe they're going to blow them out.
I kind of get that feeling. I don't want to go that far out with it, but I feel like that. Like, with Lamar back, I feel like they're going to win every game. Okay, except the Chiefs. But I just feel like they're going to win every game that they're going to be in.
Yeah, the Steelers.
Well, they split with the Steelers, but not this year. Not this year. Okay. This year, I feel like by the time we play the Steelers, I think it's later in the season. Aaron Rodgers is going to be cooked.
Let's be honest. Can I tell you a secret? If y'all want to lean in, don't let anybody else. Turn your volume down. Aaron Rodgers is cooked now, all right? But they're keeping him going, and listen, he's putting up a valiant effort. But why do you think he was so angry that his teammate touched him and tried to celebrate with him? Because he knows that literally anything at any time can break him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he had about a quarter and a half in him before the wheels fell off. I'm not worried about that team at all. The
only reason I say to worry about them is because Baltimore, it doesn't matter who plays quarterback in Pittsburgh, for whatever reason.
That's true.
They just cannot consistently beat Pittsburgh.
Coaching.
But they may not have to.
No.
And not how it goes.
Well, we're 2 games behind them now. If we pull up the schedule for the Ravens, the next 4 games, we got Miami, Vikings, I believe Cleveland.
with JJ McCarthy.
Yeah. Cleveland. And that'll be tough just because, Myles Garrett is a menace. But we should still win that. And then after that, I forget the 4th team.
You have New York Jets.
Okay. All right. Miami, Vikings, Browns, Jets. We win those next 4 games, and then you gotta look at what Pittsburgh has. I think Pittsburgh has a tougher schedule.
At that point, you'd be 6-5.
We'll be 6-5.
The Steelers, on the other hand, are playing best team in the league, Indianapolis Colts. They're at the LA Chargers the following week. Okay. Then they're home for Cincinnati, and then they're at Chicago. That's their next 4.
Okay, so best case scenario, they win 3 out of those 4, right?
Mm-hmm. That would put them at 7-4, 1 game ahead of you.
1 game ahead of us.
And then they lose to Buffalo the following week because they're Pittsburgh. And then they're playing Baltimore.
By the time we play them, we could be ahead of them.
Yeah.
That's if they play they play like really good football coming up here. Because the Chargers could beat them. The Chargers ain't great. They're about the same. But the Chargers could beat them. The Bears could beat them. the Colts. Jeez, man, I don't know what got into that team, but they're running through everybody.
This is true right here. Be the Chain says Jamar always embarrasses us. Can't sleep on the Bengals. He does, but you always beat them.
Yeah,
he goes off almost every time he plays Baltimore, but you win all those games.
That is true. That is true. So okay, you're picking the Ravens. What's your score prediction?
Score prediction. I am going to say 42, and I'm going to give the Miami Dolphins. I'll give them 17. Give them 17.
Oh, okay. That's a high score. Any defensive touchdowns in there?
Nah.
No. Okay.
That's
okay.
all. That's all. Lamar, Derek, and crew.
I'll say the Ravens. I'm gonna go high too. I would say 38 to 24. 38 to 24.
So you're saying that defense don't show up again, huh?
I think they will show up and it'll give up some late touchdowns to where it'll look a little closer than it really is, but for the most part, it'll be about 17 points throughout the game.
Yeah. Oh, that is true. Kelvin here says that they still have to play the Lions as well. Talking about Pittsburgh. So yeah, they have they've got the Colts, the Chargers, the Bills, the Ravens twice, and the Detroit Lions in the second half of their schedule. That is not great if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, because I just assume they'll split with Baltimore, right? Them other games are losses.
Yes.
So,
the Chargers signed Marcus Williams. Good for Marcus Williams. Good for him.
Yeah, it is going to be good for him. Just like it was good for Owe.
I think he can still play.
I'm sure. And like I said, Owe went over there and immediately got a couple sacks.
Look who's here. It's Megan.
What's going on, Megan? Thank you very much for the super chat. How about them Seahawks? You know what? The Seahawks look good.
Yes.
I would greatly appreciate it if Sam Darnold would go back to being Sam Darnold and then Jalen Milroe could get in there. But I'm happy for Sam. I'm glad he's playing well. That team looks like they're going to be tough to beat.
For years, because I think Jalen Milroe, they're going to take their time developing him. Hopefully they take the time developing him, and you're going to have a dangerous quarterback on your hands there. Good coach, well-built team. They're going to be dangerous for years to come.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming through, Megan. Good to see you.
Appreciate that. No, Ferris. Ferris says, so you're saying good for him through gritted teeth? No, I'm happy for Sam Darnold. I'm glad he turned things around. I didn't think he got a fair shot really in New York. And I just, I drafted Jalen Milroe, so I wanted to see him play. But I'm very happy for Sam that he's turned his career around.
Yeah. Okay. I want to ask you, because you didn't really get a chance to give your thoughts on the whole debacle with the injury report or the practice report for the Ravens, right? I did a little impromptu live. I didn't really give you a heads up. I just went live and just gave my thoughts real quick before the game. But how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the other report, the Baltimore Banner, basically kind of backing up what the Sun said about Todd Monken,
right?
And how he responded, after their win on Sunday.
Well, first, Ferris says he was talking about Marcus Williams and Jose. Ferris, no, we don't hate players the way you do.
I said good for him.
Yeah.
I said I think he can still play.
We root for players even after they leave our teams. We don't hate the players the way that you like to. And we did get a super chat again from Megan. Thank you so much.
I've
loved Sam since his USC days. Milroe is at least 3 to 4 years off. No, Megan. No.
Hey,
3 to 4?
You know what? I ain't mad at it. The way the Packers have developed their last two quarterbacks, Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers, both of them sat for 3 years. And obviously one's going straight to the Hall of Fame, and the other one is playing really good football. So if he sits for 3 years, I ain't mad at it. I think he's gonna. By the time he starts, he's gonna be really good.
Yeah, he don't need 3 to 4 years though. This is that Giannis talk that people were saying before he got drafted. But thank you, man. Appreciate that.
I think because there was a time where you and I kind of agreed that if you can play, you don't. There's no develop. You develop on the field. You don't wait. Mm-hmm. But we also agree that now that some players can benefit from sitting. Right.
Yeah.
Some quarterbacks can't go out there right away. They need a year or 2 or 3 to really develop.
Yeah, the elite players, the elite talents can go out there and they'll play and they'll play through their the early mishaps and all that, and they'll be fine. And I always say there's more players now that can play the position than ever before, but there's a lack of coaching to get them to that consistent starter level. Megan, again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Straight from Mike Mack's mouth. Okay, but you know what? He ain't never developed a quarterback. He don't know.
Yeah, he's developing. He's a developing head coach. You know, he's doing a good job so far. But yeah. Are y'all going to let Megan be the only person donating to the Make Locker Rooms Fun Again Fund Foundation?
They haters up in Baltimore, right? They don't want to support the team again until after this Miami win. Like they don't want to get drawn in. But that's okay.
Okay. So a couple things, right? Yes, Lamar, he pulled off the mask. He said, "Psych, it's not Harbaugh, it's me. I'm the one that said get all the games out the locker room. I would have taken the TVs off too if it weren't for that meddling owner." All right. And he said, "Hey, look, they're not coming back either. I just think, he's like, I'm not saying nobody's not doing their job. That's what you're saying. But he's like, I just think, we need to get more focus." Okay. Also, 2 reports, Baltimore Sun and Baltimore Banner said that the players aren't really feeling Todd Monken. They said that he's not really a player's coach. He's not really personable. They respect him, but there's a little disconnect there. And also, Zach Orr is great. He is a player's coach, and it's not his fault. It's the defensive players taking accountability and saying we need to play better. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on all of that?
Absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. I don't think that you will find anybody on that team who was upset with Todd Monken, with the way the offense was playing, with Lamar. And look, without Lamar, okay, yeah, maybe you're frustrated in those moments, but you're not mad about the team that was the top offense in the league when they are healthy. I also think it's garbage that nobody on the defensive side is upset with Zach Orr. I mean, we've heard not players say that I'm upset, but players make comments that would indicate that they are upset and there's a problem with coaching. He said Kyle Van Noy, when they asked him, is the coach's message getting through to players? He said, ask them. Right. What is that? You're a player, Kyle. Is it getting through to you? And he didn't want to say what was on his mind. He said, ask them. Yeah. See if they think it's getting through to us, because it wasn't. Right? It's not getting through to them. And I don't know what they changed during the bye week. If it's just the fact that the season is kind of on the brink now, or if there was some sort of actual, maybe they had a meeting and they kind of cleared the air. What happened during the bye week? But hopefully moving forward, they kind of stay locked in and they're able to play closer up to their potential. But no, I don't buy for a second that people were upset with Todd Monken. It was just they're trying to cover for John's guy, right? Yeah. Zach Orr was a promising linebacker for the Ravens. He had a career-ending injury, very young, and he's kind of been groomed to kind of move up the coaching ladder. Yeah. They promoted him too soon. Yep. They gave him the job too soon. They had 3 coaches to choose from to become the new defensive coordinator. Well, not 3. I mean, when Mike McDonald was leaving, but they had the other 2 to choose from, and they went with the least experienced guy, lost the other 2, and lost anybody on the staff who had any kind of experience, didn't really surround him with experience, and you've had the last year and a half of just poor defensive play in Baltimore to show for it. I don't think for a second. Now, not saying that the players shouldn't be taking accountability for their own play. Obviously, they should, and they do. But you're still also going to be upset with who's putting you in those positions, right? Marcus Williams said it after he exited Baltimore. Like I said, Kyle Van Noy, you can tell from that answer that he's not 100% on board with what's going on coaching. I forget which player it was after a game when they asked him about the communication, and he said he didn't know what was going on.
Marlon Humphrey.
Okay, Humphrey, and he thought somebody else had the green dot than the player who had it.
No, that was Nate Wiggins.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
That was Nate Wiggins. But Marlon Humphrey said on one of his live streams, he's like, yeah, players are coming to me like, hey, what'd you see out there? Like, what do you think's going on? He's like, man, I don't know.
Right. So obviously things are not going well communication-wise or had not been going well communication-wise between the players and the coaches, and the players and their teammates. Right. Nothing was working. Nothing was clicking. They were off. And the idea that no one on that side of the ball is frustrated with the leadership of one of the worst defenses in the league is a joke.
Right. And that's why, listen, I'm not trying to, put down any reporters or anything like that. I know it took some work to put together these stories. I just think that's exactly what they are. They're stories. I don't buy it. I don't buy that you got all these quotes about the offense and defensive coordinators and these contrasting opinions, but not one person said anything about Harbaugh.
Right.
Man, I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. Good or bad, right? Good or bad. You didn't get any quote, nothing about Harbaugh whatsoever. Listen, no. And when you're interviewing these players, you didn't ask them about Harbaugh. You didn't ask them about the head coach. He's the head coach.
Right.
Don't buy it. Sorry.
And B the Chain says that Trippy and Monken clip says Monken is feeling some type of way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And they should, because they're trying to scapegoat him.
And he said FTMF. Okay. Coach can tell you what that is. All right. Filming more film or something else. Unless it's the other thing. Right. And I feel him. Listen, I don't think Tom Monken is the best offensive coordinator. He damn sure ain't the worst offensive coordinator. No. And what he's been doing with Lamar Jackson has been working. And this is not a G-roll thing at all. No. In fact, the times where you sit there and scratch your head about the play calling, yes, that happens sometimes. Like I said, he's not great. But the things that really get us mad, I don't blame him. I gotta blame the head coach. When he's taking Derrick Henry out the game, in critical situations, if he's not supposed to do that, the head coach is supposed to say, stop taking him out of games in these downs. You see him, you see the set that's going out there. You see the group that's going out there. You don't see Derrick Henry. You say, hey, run Derrick Henry out there.
Yeah.
Take Justice out. Run Derrick Henry out there. Right? That's your job as a head coach. You override those things. You're letting it ride. So I'm inclined to believe, since I've seen this even before Tom Monken got here, I'm inclined to believe Harbaugh is telling him to do that.
Right. Because again, that kind of stuff has happened consistently with every offensive coordinator they've had. Yep. What hasn't been consistent, Lamar's played great, but Lamar had arguably the best season a quarterback's ever had under Tom Monken, right? With the 40 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, 4 of which were not his fault in the regular season. So, and then you add in, it was like 900 rushing yards as well. So, again, not saying he's the best offensive coordinator, but I don't believe for a second that anybody on that side of the ball, because when Lamar got hurt, he had 10 touchdowns to 1 interception, through those first 3 games. I don't believe anybody on that side of the ball is upset with Todd Monken at that point, that early in the year. I believe they're upset with Zach Orr after a full season of that, and then starting off the year as poorly as they did. But no, I don't believe they're upset with Todd Monken.
Now, I'll say this. I like how they played on on Sunday. Early on, I was sitting there like, here we go, right? Because they're moving the ball right down the field. But what I really noticed on those 2 drives where they stalled the Bears in the red zone was their body language, right? I didn't see a lot of pointing fingers at each other. I didn't see a lot of, hey, what what's the play? Hey, what do I do? That they're composed, they're pumping themselves up, right? They're getting hyped at the tackles. Mike Green got his first sack. Like the attitude was different. Okay, they're not all
Nick Gordon, by the way.
Huh?
He's still a sack behind Nick Gordon, by the way.
Whatever. E, what up? What's going on, man? Thanks for coming through. But the attitude looks different, right? So they need to keep that up because listen, I didn't hear anybody refute those reports in the locker room. I didn't hear anybody come out and say, man, that's some BS what they're saying out there, right? So if you put it on yourselves, you did the talking. You took your defensive coordinator, you let him off the hook. That's 100% on y'all. So we start pointing fingers at y'all and saying, man, you suck. You put it on you.
Yeah.
All right. So go out there and show out.
Yeah.
All right. Peter Chain says, I'm from Michigan and I can't stand any of the Harbaughs, but we got to get rid of the special teams coach.
I quite like Jim. I think Jim is hilarious, man. I think John, again, and this is nothing personal with any of these guys. We're talking about them professionally. John seems like he's a good person, but he seems like he's got all of the Harbaughness without any of the humor. And Jim got a lot of the humor, right? So it makes a difference, right?
Yeah.
If you get all just the Harbaughness and no humor, you come off as kind of a douche. But Jim seems cool.
Big Red says Roe and Teddy swap positions. I didn't notice that. You could be right. I have to go back and look. But whatever they did, it worked. They need to keep doing that. All right. B.
Yes, sir.
Your Panthers had a game on Sunday.
False. They had a bye week this past week. They're coming off the bye against the Green Bay Packers this week. Bryce Young he's out there practicing. He's ready to go.
Wait, hold on. There's 75 people in here. Hit that like button. I don't know what the likes are looking like, but let's get the likes up. All right. And if you're new in here, hit that subscribe button. I'm sorry. Go ahead. You guys got the Packers this week coming off a bye.
Yeah. Andy Dalton played last week. And nobody else did. And so they got beat pretty bad. Andy Dalton played one of the worst games I've ever seen a quarterback play.
Yes.
Not as bad as Joe Webb when he came in basically off the street to play in a playoff game. Not as bad as Josh Freeman, who had been out of the league for several years, and they just threw him in as a starter on a Monday night. But it was
that's right.
But it was bad. It was very, very bad. And I've said this to you, unlike your head coach, Andy Dalton took accountability for how poorly he played and said that he didn't give the team a chance to win.
Oh, how big of him?
Listen, hey, he could have said a lot of other things, right? and you know that because you listen to John Harbaugh every single week. But he said the right thing. Okay. So it was a bad week. I think that they would have gotten the win if not for Andy Dalton being the starter. If Bryce could have gone out there, I think it would have been a much, much different game. But it is what it is. Did you know that Carolina is the only 4-4 team in the NFL? I did not realize that until I looked at a whole list of the standings there. But yeah, so they're going to be playing Green Bay this week. Green Bay is 5-1-1. Green Bay is a very good team. This is going to be a tough task for Carolina to get the win. But Bryce looks like he's going to be back. They have some other injuries. Taylor Moton's not practicing right now. Another one of their offensive linemen has not been practicing. I can't remember which one at the moment. Cade Mays has not been practicing. Yeah. They've got some injury woes. So it's going to be difficult. Offensively, they have to go out there. And this is the week I think that Dave Canales is going to just go ahead and make Rico Dowdle the starter. His comments have kind of hinted towards that. A lot of people have been upset that they've kind of, split or alternated series with them, but you have to do that because Chuba Hubbard went for 1,200 yards last year. You gave him the big extension. He's a leader in the locker room. He's very well liked amongst the players. He's an extremely hard worker.
To kind of get back.
You have to let him come in and play and see where he's at. But Rico has outplayed him pretty significantly over the last couple of weeks. So I think this is the week that it kind of goes in that other direction. And Chuba has already commented on that, and he doesn't really care what the carry situation is. He's just about winning the games. So
he always struck me as like a team player.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's easy to do that when you get that contract,
Yeah. Green Bay's got one of the best run defenses in the league. They faced the fewest number of carries, but they're only allowing 3.7 yards per attempt. So they're very, very strong up front. And also it helps that, they are usually ahead and teams have to pass to try to catch up to them. But it's going to be important for Carolina to get the ball first, try to establish the run, try to get a lead and not fall behind Green Bay. On the other side, man, look, let me just finish up with the offense. Like, running the ball, I think they'll be able to. I'm not going to say he's going to go for 200 yards or anything like that because, like I said, they're a great run defense. Yeah. I think that with Jalen Coker back, with Teteroa there healthy, Xavier Legette they're healthy, Jimmy Horn out there, they'll be able to move the ball, and I think they'll be able to score. Defensively, it's going to be a struggle. Just Jordan Love has been playing great football this year. If you watch the Pittsburgh game, like he's making plays all over the field. Yes. Excuse me. They just got Christian Watson back.
What did he have? Like 20? Was it 24 straight completions or something like that?
Close to the last I heard was 20. But yeah, he was over 20.
He tied the record with Brett Favre. They had for a franchise history. Yeah.
So they've got Josh Jacobs, who's a great player, but has not been running particularly well this year. But he's also a threat out of the backfield catching the ball, right? And if you have been following the show or you've been following Carolina season, you know that that kind of covering tight ends and running backs not really their thing. Tucker Kraft has been phenomenal this year. He's the leading receiver in Green Bay. He's got a little under 500 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And Carolina, they can't cover bad tight ends. So that's going to be fun to watch. Tucker not only catching the ball, like not only getting open and catching the ball, but like he's not particularly fast, but he's a very strong runner. He's got great balance. He's just tough to bring down. Very, very tough to tackle after he gets the ball. Green Bay, they have faced the 8th or 7th shortest average yards to go on third down, right? That's because they like to get small chunks on first and second down to make third down very manageable. And then Jordan Love's not afraid to throw the ball downfield on those third and short. So he throws it past the sticks very, very consistently on third down. He's over 10 yards an attempt on third down, whereas they're on average in 3rd and 7, right? I don't know, man. Like JC need to cover all them dudes, I guess. He need to clone himself because they've got 4 or 5 wide receivers who can get open and make plays after. And then they got Tucker Kraft, and then they've got Josh Jacobs. If Carolina wants to win this one, it might end up being a shootout. If Carolina wants to win, I don't know that they will be able to really hold that Green Bay offense.
And by the way, Michael Parsons is trying to get that defensive player of the year.
He's got 6.5 sacks, and a banged up offensive line going up against Michael Parsons doesn't sound very fun. If you don't know Brady Christensen, they lost him for the season last year. He tore his Achilles. He was the 3rd guy at right guard. They already lost Robert Hunt, and then they lost Chandler Zavala. They just opened up his 21-day window to come off of IR and get active, but he's not going to be playing. So yeah, they're hurt up front. They are. This is gonna. Look, obviously I'm pulling for Carolina to win. I want to see them go out there and play well. This is a very tough task.
Yeah. What up, Zeke? Thanks for coming through.
Especially Bryce is probably not 100%. Also,
yeah, I can't pick them to win this game, and that's okay. I think they drop back under 500, but the week after, I think they have a more favorable matchup.
The next 2 weeks will get them back over 500.
Yeah. So okay. Oh, so you expect them to lose too? Cool.
I know. I'm saying in this scenario,
no. I got you.
Fantasy land that you're talking about, where they lose this game and drop under 500, then they'll be right back.
I think they lose this game, but it's not going to look anywhere near like the game they just played because Panthers Nation found out what Ravens fans found out over these last couple of weeks is that their quarterback means a whole lot to that team. Okay. I know there's some Panthers fans out there thought Andy Dalton was better, or at least very serviceable. We told you in preseason that Andy Dalton was cooked when he tried to throw a screen pass and fell down. Okay. I was calling for Bryce Perkins then. All right. They should have been looking elsewhere. I knew he didn't have any more in him. And listen, it looked bad. The score looked bad.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of that had to do with Andy Dalton.
Most of it.
Right. Most of it had to do with Andy Dalton. It wasn't that they just went out there and just steamrolled you guys. He put you guys in some bad situations.
Now, James Cook did. He steamrolled the defense. Yeah. But even with him playing as well as he was, they were still very much in it at the end of the first half. And Andrew Dalton just was not having it. He was not having a game where Carolina was competitive.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
So look, I got is this on the road?
Ooh, you know what? I believe it is. Let me just check. It is.
Like, I got the Packers winning. They're gonna win. It's gonna be 31-20.
Okay. Packers are gonna win. The Packers are gonna get the win. I think they're too good, and they're too in rhythm right now for a team in Carolina spot. So they're gonna get the win. It's going to be, I'm going to say 28-24.
Okay, close game.
Yeah.
All right. You can live with that. Live with that. Okay.
And then they beat New Orleans and they beat Atlanta, and we're right back.
Yes. All right. We gotta do this core public opinion. We got submitted questions. I know you guys are asking about the NBA FBI probe into gambling story. That's going to happen in our overtime show. So patreon.com/LBHT show. Patreon.com/LBHT show is where you can find it. Look, you got $5 in your pocket. That's all you need. Okay. That'll get you access for the whole month. Okay. Or if you want to buy an episode, you want to buy the individual episode, it's only $3. When we put that option out there, I was like, who's gonna buy an episode? But people buy it. People bought the one we did on Doug Martin. They're interested in that one. I appreciate you guys. But $2 more, you can get access for the whole month. All right. So just think about that. All right. We have a court of public opinion. What are you reading?
I was looking at the submitted questions.
Okay. Court of public opinion. Michael Jordan, you may have heard of him. All right. He played basketball. He was pretty good. He's been interviewed by Mike Tirico for this series that they're doing. And Mike Tirico asked him a question about load management. How does MJ feel about load management? I had the video prompted up here. I don't know why I went down.
Apparently you didn't.
That's okay. I'm gonna bring it up right now. I got it. I'm ready to go. But this is about 2.5 minutes. But I want you guys to get the whole context of what he said, and then we're going to talk about it. All right. And here we go.
Okay, you are muted.
My bad. What do you think, B? Do you think you think the GOAT has a point?
Yes and no. Sure, if you're not hurt to the point that you can't play, you should get out there unless there's that chance of aggravating an injury, getting hurt worse than you currently are or whatever. I don't think the guy should be just taking time off just because. Like when you're talking about your older players like LeBron, I understand you don't want to play you don't want to play them on back-to-backs because you need them later in the season. You don't want that fatigue to set in. But the younger guys, no, I think that they can play through minor injuries and things like that. But on the other hand, I'm like, man, Michael Jordan took a year and a half off, and I'm not saying that to like downplay him, but like that does a lot to get your body right.
Yeah,
he does. These guys don't have that kind of break. That
he played baseball, right?
Sort of. I mean, he played minor league baseball a little bit, but I mean, he wasn't out. And granted, he was playing those 82 games prior, but he was younger then. And you could kind of force that. And then later in his career, when guys start to break down and those injuries pile up, and then you start seeing them miss a lot of games every season, he sat out and was able to get fully healthy before, coming back and being rejuvenated. Just using LeBron as an example, he went to the finals 8 straight years, right? So that's going from October through June or early July, whenever that series ends. 8 straight years, and then you're essentially right back into training camp. Not too long after that. There's not much of a break, especially if you're on the Team USA and you're practicing there. The times when you actually have the Olympics, you got to go and play in the Olympics and all that. So
yeah,
and also I think that the athletes are much better now. There's a lot more talent in the league. The game is faster. The players are stronger. I think that there's more of a opportunity for injury there. And also, it kind of a little bit, I think this maybe validates what Chad Ochocinco was talking about. I think he's actually back to Chad Johnson now, right? But when he was like, you got hurt all the time because you was trying to be healthy. Eat McDonald's and you'll be fine. Right? Because, Mike Tirico laughed about it at the end of that clip, but Jordan wasn't out there taking care of himself between games. He was drinking and staying up all night gambling and all that. He wasn't sleeping in the hyperbaric chamber and having a personal chef coming to make sure he's eating healthy and all that. Kind of stuff.
He's like you ain't playing for 3 hours. What are you doing with the other 21 hours? He's like, well, I mean, I was partying, right. But
so you don't maybe pushing yourself. Like these guys are able to play longer in terms of years. But maybe that is having an effect in terms of their day-to-day, right? Like maybe I can't go for 80 games, but I'm going to play until I'm 40, as opposed to a lot of players, back then whose career started winding down at 32, 33.
I really respect what he said, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and I believe him for the most part. He like ultimate competitor, obviously. He wanted to be out there for all those games. Yeah. He wanted to dominate you night in and night out. I don't believe the part where he said he did it for the fans. He damn sure didn't do that for the fans.
Nah,
like you didn't care about the person that got off of work is buying the ticket to go to the game. You didn't care about that. You wanted to go out there. You wanted to dominate, and I respect that. Right?
Yeah, he cared about humiliating his colleagues.
Yes. But no, he's not wrong. Like this is one of those things. I think. And I respect the answer overall because he's not really criticizing the players so much. Yeah. He's kind of answering it from just his point of view, how he feels about it. And I can totally get with that. And I really appreciate that answer from him because a lot of listen, man, NBA, man, that's one of those leagues, man. Players hate on the new generation.
Mm-hmm.
They hate on a new generation a lot. It would have been easy for Michael Jordan to be like, man, these guys are soft.
Yeah.
Right. It was easy for him to say it, but he didn't do that. He said something a little bit more diplomatic, still showed respect to the younger generation. But he said, hey, look, I don't really like it, but it is what it is kind of thing.
I think he's kind of mellowed out a bit with age. Because I think I think 20, 30 years ago, he would have been like, they soft. I mean, he famously went out there and made Kwame Brown cry.
Yeah.
After they drafted him. He wasn't trying to build Kwame up. No. Right? And he would talk about like when he bought into the Hornets, how he could beat everybody on that team one-on-one. Maybe calm down, you're 60. But so I do agree with them overall that the perception is the guys just take days off just to take days off, just because they don't feel like playing and they're not actually hurt. And I don't know how much of that there is. I know that a lot of injury stuff is luck, right? Because I mean, and let's just say it, who we're talking about is Kawhi. Like that, he's the poster boy for load management, right?
Yeah.
He had a mysterious leg injury in San Antonio that kept him out forever, and nobody really seemed to know what was wrong with him. And it just happened to be when he wanted out of San Antonio. And then, even since then, he's just he's in and out, in and out, in and out. But a lot of that is luck, Like I said, we talk about LeBron again. LeBron has had incredible injury luck. He hasn't had major injuries for the overwhelming majority of his career. Then you look at a guy like, I used to root for Houston, Tracy and Yao. Tracy had a bad back, Yao had bad feet, and it forced him out of the game. It just, Michael was lucky with injuries, and that's part of having that longevity and achieving everything that he achieved. But it's not something that you can really apply to other players.
Yeah, different sport now. Like you said, the game is a lot faster. Mm-hmm. Players are a lot more athletic in general, and it's harder to play all 82 games. It's interesting, especially for Jordan, who didn't really take care of his body the way these athletes do now, to see how he would have held up in today's game. And I think because he's still around the game, I think he recognizes that, which is also why he's a little bit more mellowed out in this answer, that he gives. But yeah, if you're able and you can play, you don't feel like playing. No, he's absolutely right. You need to be a professional and go out there and play.
Yeah, it's very rare that you hear me say, you're getting paid millions, go do your job. Right. It's very rare that you hear me say that because they're humans like everybody else. And if you just don't feel like playing, you're getting paid millions, go do your job.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, the exception, and this is really only the exception, is LeBron, right? Because like you said before, he's 40, right? And he's the only 40-year-old in the history of basketball that you're kind of depending on if you're trying to make any kind of run in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? You typically don't rely on guys that old, that age to help you make a playoff run, but you're relying on him. You gotta make sure he has something left in the tank. So you have to load management with him. That's a necessity.
And the Spurs used to do it with Tim when he got older as well. And they would make jokes about it, which I think also kind of played into this. They'd be like, Tim Duncan is out, and in parentheses, old. He's just taking a break. But fans don't like to hear that because, this is the game that I bought a ticket for, and I wanted to see Tim Duncan.
Yeah,
and he's just taking a break.
That comes with it. All right. There's no guilty, not guilty with this one. I just want to know how you guys felt about players. He definitely has a point with the load management. I think there are too many players.
No, there is a guilty. It's not Michael Jordan. It's not players in general. It is Joel Embiid. Because Joel Embiid is, I think, what he, like I said, Kawhi is kind of the poster boy for.
There are definitely players that take off. Yes,
he kind of coined that phrase and everything. But Joel Embiid goes to the playoffs. He balls out in the regular season every year, and he goes to the playoffs and he gasses out because he's not in shape.
Yes,
and look, and that'll lead to injury as well, right? If you're not. If you're not in good condition and you're just pushing yourself like that, because he wants to be out there and play every day, but he don't want to train to be able to do it. So he's out there fatigued and everything, and missing games in the playoffs every single season. If it happened once, okay, you were young, you didn't really understand it. College season is much shorter, blah blah blah, whatever. But it's every year.
Yeah.
And then he figured out, he's like, if we just suck, I won't have any playoff games to miss. So, yeah, Joel Embiid's guilty.
Agreed.
Yeah. So we got 2 questions.
All right, submitted questions time. We got to load our stingers back up, man.
Yeah.
We got to load back up on it.
There's one from Young Wild. He says the Munkin articles raise some bigger questions for me. Why does everyone in and around the organization seem to see things so differently than everyone else? Being satisfied with his O-line but Todd's the problem? I even heard your good friend, Mr. Baltimore, say that the Ravens have given Lamar everything he's ever wanted. I felt like Leo at the end of Shutter Island. Maybe I'm hallucinating.
All right. First we should say submitted questions segment. If you want us to read a question on air, you can DM us pretty much anywhere at LBHT Show. Okay. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, even on TikTok. It's all the same at LBHT Show. Or you can send us an email, lbhtshow@gmail.com. All right. Those are ways that you can submit questions. Or the popular way is to go right in our community tab and just post a question there when we say post a question here. All right. So we kind of talked about that earlier with the propaganda around this team and pointing fingers at Todd Monken and all that stuff. I think it's shameful, right? I didn't listen to all of John Harbaugh's presser about over after the game on Sunday. I'm not sure if he addressed it or anything like that. I don't think he did.
I love the idea of John Harbaugh addressing something. That's great.
Right. But two major news sources in the Baltimore area put out stories about your offensive coordinator, and you don't speak up for him. That's weak.
And he's pretty pissed about it, clearly. The offensive coordinator.
Right. That's weak. Even if you don't like him, like he's still your offensive coordinator. That's still your team. You stick up for him, and that's one of the things I used to always give Harbaugh credit for is he would stick up for his people, good or bad.
Well, Todd and his people.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say. He's showing that, hey, Ty ain't my guy. If you're not my guy, I'm not staying with you. Well, then fire him. Like that's cowardly, man. He's got no backbone. The first story was bad enough. The second one, I was like, that just makes me lose more respect for him.
A lot of cowardice going around sports these days. I think that part of the reason is, if you think about guys like Hollywood Brown, guys like Des Bryant and Deshaun Jackson, Marcus Williams, Ben Cleveland, some guys in the past as well. You step out of line and you end up in Harbaugh's doghouse, and you apparently are like, there's no escape from the doghouse, it seems like, at times, right? So you're not going to refute anything that the organization wants out there if you want to just continue playing in your role, right?
Right.
Because you might say, hey, there's some guys who you wouldn't be able to do that to, but Marcus Williams was on a big contract. And, he was a starting safety. They brought him in he was a big time addition, and they didn't have any real problem kind of railroading him. So I think that's a big part of why you don't hear kind of dissent. And I think the other part is just generally speaking, players don't want to get involved in that kind of stuff, especially if you're playing poorly, as a unit or as a team. You just kind of want people to leave you alone. You don't want people talking about you, that much, regardless of what they're saying. You kind of want to put your head down and try to work through it. I feel like fear of retribution and maybe just some, I don't want to be involved in a story like that.
Yeah. Now, what was that comment that other guy said about Lamar Lamar's gotten all the help he could get, or something like
Yeah,
that.
are your good friend Mr. Baltimore that Lamar has? They've given Lamar everything he's ever wanted.
Now, that's surprising to me that he would say something like that. Because Bobby, who's not a Baltimore fan,
You don't
right?
say.
He's not a fan of Baltimore sports. He's just he's just a reporter. He just covers sports. He's a sports guy. He loves sports.
Shout out to Keeping It Real, who called John Harbaugh a parasite. That applies more to Bobby than it does to John Harbaugh, because like John's a part of the organization. He's working. You may not agree with how he's running it. You may not like him, as a coach or whatever. But he's in there, and he's trying his best the way that he knows how. Right? Bobby's just using Baltimore sports.
But I just thought because he's a sports fan that yeah, I'm surprised that he would say that, because you would think he would watch more football. Like, that's usually something that you get from the local guys that don't watch anything but Ravens football. But he's not a fan. He watches all football. You would think that he would know what weapons really look like.
Yeah, you would think.
Because yes, I can understand if you only watch Ravens, and you would say, hey man, you got Hollywood Brown, that's good enough, right? And you never actually seen Tyreek Hill play until he caught 4 touchdowns on us in the fourth quarter, right? And you're like, what was that? Yeah. Like you see people like that. Like you have people like that where you just like they're all about their team, and then when somebody comes to town that they've never seen before, they're like, yo, did you see that guy? Like I don't expect that from him, because he's not a fan.
Yeah. And giving him everything he's want, I'm pretty sure he wants a good O-line, right?
Right.
I know for a fact that he asked for DeAndre Hopkins years ago when they told him no. But I guess because they got him the broke down version, that counts. I don't know.
Right.
But no, I don't think that they've given him everything, especially when you look around the other elite quarterbacks and what they've been working with for the majority of their career. It's ridiculous to say that. Yeah. And by the way, even if they've given Lamar Jackson everything he wants, who cares? It's not their job to give Lamar everything he wants. It's their job to put a winning team around him. So if he says, right, if he comes out and says, yo, I want Dez Bryant back, say no. Doesn't matter that you want Dez Bryant. Go get him a real receiver. I shouldn't say a real receiver. I mean, a younger receiver who's in his prime. Dez was a great player at one point, but you don't just say, hey, whatever Lamar says, whatever Lamar wants, we're gonna go get whatever Lamar said, and then we're gonna blame Lamar if it doesn't work out. No, man, you've been a head coach for nearly 2 decades. You've got this dude who's been working in the front office for nearly 2 decades, or however long he's been there. You are supposed to know how to build a team, and you are supposed to go and do that. That's your job. That's not Lamar's job.
Right. So, all right. Look, y'all trying to get us talking about Bobby, man. Don't get us talking about our friend Bobby, okay? All right. From what I heard, he was getting cooked enough on the show. Kwame B, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate you. Says he regurgitates stuff from pundits. That is a Mark Schlereth take. Shout out to Bobby though.
Screw Mark too, man. Like, stop calling Panthers games. I hate that. But thank you, Kwame.
Appreciate it.
We did get another question from Penny Sam.
I saw that.
Yeah. Who are Jose and Brodny? Football backgrounds? No info comes up on Google. First off, don't Google us.
No, Google us.
No. Google the show. Don't Google us. Google the show.
No. If you Googled us and nothing came up, good. If you Google Let's Break Hot Take, that should come right up.
Yes.
But who are we? We're brothers. If you don't know, we are actual brothers in real life. What are you laughing at? Oh, they were putting that in the chat. Listen. I saw Luke K, and I saw Urban put that in there earlier. There's no free Taurus over here.
No, Taurus free. He can run these YouTube streets anywhere else he wants.
Well, he's running out of places. Look, he's free to go outside and get off of social media. That's what he's free to do.
There are millions of channels, and there are multiple social media platforms, and then, like you said, there's also outside. He's very free.
Yeah. No, it gives him more time to run his channel. Don't he got a channel?
Yeah, I believe so. But how many times can you review an Arby's sandwich? So I don't know. But that's neither here nor there. No problem there. But yeah, no, we're fans of football, and
yes,
decided to talk about football. I have a question. Who are you, Penny Sam?
Football backgrounds. I played a little bit of football. I had a little stint with this amateur team out in Baltimore called they're the Baltimore Bay Atlantic Sharks. The first year I played with them, and then the second year they just cut down to the Baltimore Sharks. Just an amateur team, just to get a little experience. Nothing major. But that's about as far as my football background went, unless you want to count flag football. All right. Jose, your name is so common. Respectfully, yes,
that's true.
Which is why you shouldn't find me.
Now, I will tell you this: if you want to find Jose on Google, sign up for the $20 tier on Patreon. I'll tell you his middle name, and you will be able to find
you won't.
Yes, I will.
No, you will not.
Yes, I will. All right. You sign up for that $20 tier. You sign up for that $20 tier. You hit me with a message on Patreon because Jose don't check those. I will get you that middle name. You'll be able to find them. Don't worry.
No, you won't.
I think that is it, though.
All right, that's all the questions. Jason Ridley says, "What's up? I haven't joined in a year and a half or something."
What's up, Jason?
What's going on?
How you doing, man? It's good to see you back.
Hey, good to see you. Hey, welcome back.
Yes.
Hey,
yes. Thank you.
A year and a half, and we're still here. We must be doing something right then. All right. We're glad you're here. We're glad we're still here. Okay. Yeah. Anthony Davis might be done for the year. What happened to Anthony Davis?
Oh man, that's unfortunate.
Just out said Jose Harbaugh Garcia. No.
Yeah, I mean, I did see Killer Cam talking about the Mavs being cooked. I just thought you meant they were bad in general. That's terrible. Yeah, I hate that. But that he's another guy that's a perfect example, right? Like he just can't stay healthy. Like no matter what he's got the bug.
I feel so bad for him because I like him.
Yeah,
I think he's an excellent player. But like, man, like his first game with the Mavs, he's tearing it up and he's all hyped up, and then he goes out with the injury.
They said they got the full Anthony Davis experience in the first 24 hours. That was so terrible. Hopefully he's not out for the year though.
Yeah. All right, we're going to talk some more NBA here coming up here. We're going to talk about the gambling sting operation from the FBI. A couple players have been taken down. They were involved in some stuff. The mafia was involved. It is pretty bad, and I think it's going to get a lot worse for the NBA and other leagues. All right, including the NFL. So we're going to talk about that here on the Overtime Show. If you want to be a part of that, go over to patreon.com/LBHT Show. Sign up for as little as $5 a month. And listen, the Ravens play tomorrow. We might give you a post game. We might give you a little post game. All right. So just turn your notification bells. I'll be sitting there saying he ain't feeling it, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, we'll see. I'm an imposter. B said I'm an imposter. Urban said I'm an imposter. How am I an imposter?
Wow.
All right. Look, patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right. That's how we want to start the show with that. That'll take up a little time, but anything else that you guys want to bring it up, and we'll discuss it on there. That's what the Overtime Show is for. So we hope to see you there. If not, thank you for watching this for an hour and a half. Adelia is gone this week, but she'll be back next week, and the show will be that much better when she gets back.
I don't think she'll be back next week. I think it's another week after that.
Well, you got to suffer with this one more week then. Okay.
But yeah, shout out to Adelia. Hope you're enjoying your trip, and congratulations to Justin and Brandy.
Yes,
on their marriage. On the
congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations. All right, y'all.
Invited, but that's all right though.
Patreon members get ready. The overtime show is starting right now. Everybody else, have a great night, and we will see you next time. Peace.